Hello and welcome to the Honey Hobbits YouTube channel. I'm Dave. Wanted to take you through this hive that I've been looking at. So we've got our very first laying worker hive that I've ever experienced. I've heard a lot of different methods of trying to reverse a laying worker hive. Everything from putting a queen in an excluder on top of the hive to shaking the entire box out in the field, some 2 miles away, and just leaving all the laying workers out there. All kinds of different ideas. So the best idea that I've heard is to take a frame that's got all open brood in it. So usually what happens is the queen, she has a pheromone that goes throughout the hive, and it keeps all the rest of the bees from ever wanting to lay eggs, because worker bees can actually lay eggs. They just cannot lay fertilized eggs. So they can only ever have drones. The other way that you can suppress the workers from ever laying eggs is from open brood. The pheromone from open brood will also suppress the laying workers' ability to lay eggs. So what I've got here, right next to me, you can see that, is an entire frame of open brood. This is a beautiful frame from one of my other hives across the way. They've just recently, you can see how white it is, they've just recently completely drawn all this comb out. That queen laid it up. There's a bit of honey in there too, but there's tons of open larvae in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in this hive. Let you see it for a second. There's probably 5 or 6 frames in there that are just loaded with cells that have probably 6 or 7 eggs per cell. So I'm pretty confident that they are a laying worker hive. Essentially what I did with these 4 hives is I did splits with them, pulled all the queens out, and I put them in our out yard over there, and been hoping that they would do their normal process, getting queen cells and having the queen go out and come back. But apparently this one failed, so the queen didn't make it back. And it's been long enough that they've actually started doing laying worker stuff. So I'm going to give them this frame, and what I would expect, there's actually eggs in this frame as well. What I'm going to expect is that this hive has no queen, and they're going to start drawing queen cells like crazy on this frame. All of the workers should stop laying eggs because of the pheromone coming from all this open brood. Once they do that, I'll probably take those queen cells and maybe put them in a different hive, and I will actually put one of my other queens in this hive. But I do not want to introduce a queen to this hive now, because there would be more than likely to just kill the queen, because there's so many workers in here that are trying to lay, they think they have a queen. So I've got to suppress that laying worker syndrome, and then once that's done, then I'll give them a queen in a introduction cage. So hope that was helpful to you, and if you like this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to tick the little notification bell so you can see whenever we put out new videos. Alright, so one more little thing just before I head inside. It's always good to keep your eye out and be observant when you're getting out into the bee yard. So I looked right here, and there was a little pile of bees that were all hanging out right there. And so I thought I'd come over and check it out, and there was a queen in the pile. And I don't know where she's from. So it's a little bit of a mystery. I'm pretty sure this box has a laying queen. And these 2 mating nukes shouldn't have queens coming back. It's been quite a bit longer than I would expect there to be queens trying to get out and get mated. So I don't think I've ever seen a queen come out of her hive and just sit on the side before, so it's kind of weird. So anyway, I think I'll get into this box and see if I can find a queen. And if I can't, then I think she came from that box. So let's get in there and try to solve this mystery. Well, I've been through this hive twice, and I cannot find a queen. There's eggs and larvae everywhere. So I'm going to leave the cage on there for a few minutes and see if these girls are aggressive or if they're accepting. I've never seen a laying queen, crawl out of her hive like that before. So that's interesting. Let me know in the comments if you've ever had a queen from a laying hive just walk on out and hang outside the box. Seems pretty odd. That's why I love working with bees. There's always something new, and they've always got an ability to surprise me, no matter how long I work with them, it seems like. Well, I've got it released. They're just acting like business as usual. It sure seems like that was their queen. She had walked out of the box for some reason. It's worth paying attention when you're out and about working in the bee yard. You ever see a little cluster of bees somewhere that they probably shouldn't be? Take a look. You might find a queen. That is funny.
A few moments later.
Alright, the drama of this hive continues. She was on this frame, and all the bees here seemed like they accepted her. I put this frame in next to this one, and just waited for a minute just to make sure there wasn't any problems. And then started to take this frame back out again, and suddenly all of those bees started coming out trying to kill her. So, I'm not quite sure what that means. I've looked through the hive again, and I do not see a queen in there. I think I'm just going to leave the cage up there and just kind of see what they think about it. Just going to smoke everybody down real good. Get everybody real confused about who's where and what smell is what. I'm going to leave this cage right here on top and see what they decide. The bees that are coming up to the cage are just curious about what's going on, trying to figure out what the deal is, why the queen's in the cage. There's a couple bees here that look like they're... yeah. Some of these bees are latching on and trying to bite through the cage. They're looking pretty mad. When they stick to it like that, and they don't like to move very much, it's usually when they have not accepted the queen. At this point, they seem to be more accepting of her. They're not biting the cage, they're just walking around. There's not a bunch of bees on there like I would expect. I think I'll just leave her in the cage overnight and check them in the morning and see if they've accepted her back or not. I think is my best bet. There we go. She's in the cage, upside down. And we'll release her in the morning. See what they think of that. Well, hey, welcome back. It's the next day. We're going to check this hive and see if they've accepted that queen from yesterday. And maybe if they haven't accepted the queen, then maybe there's another queen in there. So we'll take a look and see what we can find. Still seem pretty mad at that queen.
Is she even alive?
They're really trying to get in there, that's for sure.
She might be dead.
They might have killed her. Yeah, it looks like they killed her. I didn't think they could kill her through a cage, but... apparently I was wrong. Well, lesson learned. They can still kill through a cage if you're not careful. So there must be a queen in this hive. Somewhere. there.
There she is.
Here?
Right there.
Oh yeah, she's huge. Don't know how I missed that yesterday.
So yeah.
Lesson learned. If the bees are telling you they have a queen, don't push the subject. Alright, well, that's a lesson learned. If bees don't like a queen, they can still kill her, even through a cage. I didn't know that. And other lesson, if the bees are telling you they already have a queen, don't push it. My other option could have been to put this one into one of these little mating nukes that I knew didn't have a queen and let them accept her in there. That probably would have been the safer idea. I thought I was pretty safe because I didn't think they could actually kill a queen through the cage. But, so yeah, hope that was educational to someone and you can learn from our mistakes. And so get out there and have some fun with your bees. We'll catch you next time.